Hey everybody, it's that time again. Jim Messina here with VintageDrumStock.com. It's showtime, as you can see behind me. This is the Chicago Vintage and Custom Drum Show. It's all happening. It's Saturday. Show's been open an hour maybe or so. It's looking really good. We walked around the floor. A lot of vintage stuff, which is what we're going to be bringing to you today. Okay? So come on with us. Let's go. Everybody, I'm really excited this year to be at the A&F booth with Rami. Rami, how you doing? This is our first time.
Good.
I've never met you, but
Pleasure
I'll tell
to meet you, sir.
I've seen the A&F
Our
drums.
craziness.
No, but it's to me it's innovative. I just really love it. I fell in love with the vibe of it and everything. Then I read the article that was out recently. I think Not So Modern or
yeah.
What a great story of how you came up with this rude brass, raw brass look, and I really dig the vibe of them because. Are you distressing these or anything, or is that just natural?
Yeah, we have a patina solution that we put the shells in, but we try not to control any of the outcome. And it's fun for me because if somebody orders a drum, you know, there's a paper that prints out with their name on it, and it follows the material all the way through the process. So I always say, whatever happens to these drums is supposed to happen for you, and that's kind of how we let it be.
You know, I look at the way they're built. You know, the lugs. I mean, that's just.
Thank you.
Solid brass.
Solid brass. Yeah, solid brass. This is a labor of love, man.
It's simple,
a lot of work.
but it works great. And these hoops,
those are mahogany hoops, yeah. We'll do mahogany and we'll do walnut.
But you also do brass hoops?
We'll do brass hoops, yeah, correct. And we make all that stuff in-house. It's all made in-house.
Oh, yeah?
I got a great team, like 9 people who are actually drummers. And during the day, they come in and make instruments that they love, man. And it just, I couldn't be happier, you know?
These are cool. I mean, a friend of mine has a 6.5, and he loves it. They're using it in the studio up in Wisconsin. Yeah, the Bonnie Bear guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Who's got a set of sticks? Can I borrow a set of sticks, please? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Rami, you want to hold that mic?
Yeah.
Can I just
absolutely.
You want to hear this set a little bit?
Here.
Yeah, I have a bunch of these marks.
Check out this floor, Tom. to something great. These are some cool drums. They're going to be big in the future. Rami, thank you very much.
Nice to meet you, man. Thank you very much.
Take care, guys. Oh! Everybody, it's finally happening. Jim Messina here at the Chicago Vintage and Custom Drum Show. I finally found Ron Dunnett. This guy, you know this name in drums. It's one of the biggest names in drums. What an innovator, man. I'll tell you, I've been following your stuff for a long time, and you've gotten just so much publicity and so much said about your stuff. And I can see here, this stuff is beautiful, guys. What can you say? I mean, this is George Way. Tell us about that. Now, you guys know who George Way is.
And if you don't,
he's going to tell you.
You should pick up Rob Cook's new book, The Leady Way, because if you're a drummer or a drum maker, you have to have that book. There's so much in it that's amazing information that you probably don't know that you need, but you do. I bought the George Way Company, the trademark. God, it's been 15 years.
That long?
It's been a long time, and it hasn't been easy rebuilding a brand from the ground up, but the results kind of speak for themselves.
This is fantastic because, you know, I remember the first year I came to the show, there was a George Way collector here, and he just had rows of, you know, the white badge, the black badge, and since then, I guess that just shows it was over 15 years ago, so, man.
Well, it's been a labor of love, you know, and this show is really like the George Way show this year. We got Cardam McLean doing a clinic, and obviously Rob's new book, and you know, at the end of this year I'll be introducing George's original tuxedo lug design onto the kits and snare drums, so that's huge.
That's a big deal, you guys. You know, when these guys start redoing that vintage hardware, like Jim Petty, he redid the bread and butter lugs, Rogers bread and butter lugs.
Any of that stuff. It's a huge task, and there's not a lot of you know, there's demand, but nobody's getting rich doing this stuff.
No, you make one round of it, and then everybody who's interested in it has got theirs.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a kind of a labor of love, but
well, that's why we got to kind of keep creating interest, that's the real challenge for our industry right now, is, you know, getting young people interested in drumming and music again, you know, instead of, you know,
no, the
instead of that rap stuff or whatever. Anyway,
the drums that we're looking at here now, you know, I'm seeing the George Ways, but these badges, is this
that's the Ari badge. I introduced that a few years ago, and I put it on both the new 2-end line, and also the classic straight shells.
These are beautiful. John Aldridge doing your engraving.
John is the man, and I get him to do the vast majority of the drums that I engrave. And
man, I remember when John first started doing that. Now, John started Not So Modern Drummer magazine, you know, and we just spoke with George Lawrence, who took it over, and now here's the John Aldridge influence again, showing up here at Dunnett Drums. This is beautiful. What's the turnover on that for him? How long does it take him?
He's gotten fairly efficient with his, you know, when you do that many, you get skillful, and I don't know how long it actually takes him to do it, but he seems to turn them around fairly quickly.
Look at this. I mean, he's really got it down now. I remember when he would sit here at the show, you know, kind of doing it, and oh, my head's killing me, and you know, he had a problem with that for a while.
Well, who knows how long any of us are going to be able to do anything, right?
Course.
So I go, yeah, let's make it happen while we're here, right?
Well, I'll tell you, man, I'm so glad I finally got to talk to you, because you're a pretty big name in this industry now. I'll tell you, Ron Dunnett, you guys, you're going to be seeing so much more and a lot more new innovations coming from Dunnett Drums. Okay, Ron, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
See you guys later.
Cheers, guys.
Oh. Vintage Drums Talk, once again coming to you from the Vintage and Custom Drum Show in Chicago. We're here with Mike CUROTTO again. You know, Mike, good to see you, my friend. A great description of those drums, I'll tell you.
Thanks.
I always like to go to the authority.
My pleasure.
But, you know, this year, once again, I want to reiterate that, you know, the vintage drum community is small, but it's tight. You know, we've got a group of collectors here that have kind of stuck together, and we trade together, and we help each other. Well, we lost a brother this year, Tony Lewis, okay? The whole show is dedicated to Tony Lewis, and I'd like to get your take, because you knew Tony, didn't you?
For about 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, here's a Mike CUROTTO with, he knows a million collectors, but there was something special about Tony, wasn't there?
Yeah, he always gave me a call. You know, I've bought probably 7-8 drums from him over the years.
Is that right?
And really choice stuff I still own, so it's in the collection still. And he would call up and we'd talk about it. He'd send me photos, and we do it every time it was a fair deal. You know.
He always seemed like a happy guy, didn't he?
Yeah.
Even when he was sick.
Yeah.
He didn't let anybody really know. I mean, a few people know when the story spread, but
Yeah.
I remember after I heard that, he still was the same. He put his arm around me, give me a big bear hug. I'll put some of those up. You'll see.
Yeah.
But with Mike, he's known Tony.
About almost 20 years.
Jeez,
Yeah, almost 20 years.
The first time I met him was when I showed up at the club at the show with that Duncan sock pedal. Remember that year?
Yeah.
And Tony was the first one that said, "Hey, can I see that?" I go over to his booth, and he asked me who I am. I said, "Well, I represent the Southwest Florida Vintage Drum Museum." I felt I had to, you know.
Yeah.
And he was the nicest guy. He said, "Is that for sale?" And I said, "Not really. My brother just dropped it off." He says, "Well, let me know." And gosh, you're leading me on here. But he just has such a nice demeanor.
Yeah.
You know, and I just wish I knew him as long as you did.
Yeah, I know. I used to see him. His booth was right next to Mark Cooper's.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah, he's just a good guy. Always, you know, always honest. We always had fair deals. I always felt happy with the price I paid. Not worrying about if you got the drum for $5, well, good for him. I feel happy with the deal we made.
Well, the whole show is dedicated to Tony, and so is our show, you know, Vintage Drums Talk. And the whole vintage drum community wishes his family well. And
Actually, I could put one more thing in.
go right ahead.
Just for a plug to help his wife out. Don Bennett's handling the estate as far as all the drums and the memorabilia.
Okay.
So people know Don Bennett. I think it's DonBennettDrums.com in Seattle.
I'll get that
and
up,
there'll be maybe some choice stuff people can buy, and that'll help Lily out. You know, to get rid of some stuff. You know.
I'm glad you told me that. Okay, now you hear that, you guys? Tony's, you know, got some good stuff. So now's your chance, and you'll be helping people out, okay? So on behalf of the whole vintage drum community and this show and Vintage Drums Talk, we love you, Tony. Rest in peace, my friend. Okay? Hey everybody, we're at the show in Chicago. I'll tell you, this year's show is really packed, a lot more vendors, very crowded, but there's a lot of custom stuff and not really that much 20s, 30s vintage, but I do have something special to show you that my brother Johnny has. Check it out. It's a Duncan sock pedal from the 1920s. And it's really drawing a lot of looks from some of the big guys here at the show. You don't see too many of these. Here's how it works. So we talked to Mike CUROTTO. He thought it was pretty interesting. But mainly we talked to John Aldridge, and he's the one who could really authenticate what it was. So he said it's a Duncan sock pedal from the early 1920s. We're going to take a look around the whole place, so come on, let's have a look. Of course, the usual Bunny Carlos, Randy Rainwater booth. There's Bunny right now. We'll talk to him just a little bit later. He's wheeling and dealing. Let's head on down this way. Wow, we have someone interested in the short title right now. Come this way. This is Tony Lewis. My name is Jim Messina from Southwest Florida. Oh, cool. Hi, how you doing? Hello, everybody. We represent a group of collectors down there. We have a little museum called the Southwest Florida Museum. This is an item that my brother found in Cleveland and delivered to me here in Chicago at the show. I got to go back to Florida with it, but it's a Duncan sock symbol. Kind of a version of the low boy hi-hat, if you've heard of that. But we own a couple. Yeah, is that for sale? Actually, not yet. It just been delivered to me by my brother, like I said. But it's